Mark sat in his car, gripping the steering wheel as if it were the only thing keeping him grounded. The parking lot outside the office building was nearly empty. It was early, but Mark always arrived before anyone else. It wasn't ambition, it was avoidance. Thought of walking in when the office was already buzzing, with co-workers offering polite smiles and casual greetings, made his chest tighten. Taking a deep breath, he finally stepped out of the car. His palms were damp despite the cool morning air. He rehearsed his lines under his breath as he walked. "Morning, how are you?" "Fine, thanks." "You?" The words felt mechanical, but they were safe. Inside, he made his way to his desk, relieved to see no one else had arrived. This was the only time of day he felt remotely calm. He could organize his files, sip his coffee, and brace himself for the wave of interactions to come. As the office began to fill, Mark's heart rate picked up. He pretended to be engrossed in an email when someone called his name. It was Sarah from marketing, holding a paper. "Mark, can you take a look at this?" she asked, smiling. Mark nodded quickly, barely meeting her eyes. "Sure, leave it there." The interaction lasted seconds, but Mark's mind replayed it over and over. Had his tone been off? Should he have smiled back? Did she think he was rude? By lunchtime, Mark was exhausted. His co-workers gathered in small groups, chatting and laughing as they ate. Mark stayed at his desk, pretending to be too busy to join. The truth was, he didn't know how to jump into their conversations without feeling out of place. After work, Mark declined an invitation from his friend Jake to grab a drink. He always declined, though Jake never stopped asking. "You've got to get out more," Jake had said last time, his tone half joking. Mark wanted to explain. He wanted to say that it wasn't about not wanting to go, but about the spiral of anxiety that came with every interaction. The way he'd spend hours afterward dissecting his words, convinced he'd said the wrong thing. Instead, he mumbled something about being tired and went home. Home, the silence was both a relief and a reminder. He turned on the TV to drown out his thoughts, but they lingered anyway. The loneliness of isolation and the fear of connection formed a cruel loop he couldn't escape. Lying in bed, Mark stared at the ceiling. He knew anxiety was robbing him of experiences, of relationships, of the life he wanted. But the fear felt insurmountable. Maybe tomorrow, he thought. It was the same promise he made to himself every night. And maybe one day he'd find the strength to keep it.